All right, Lincoln County recap, Dirt Dollars, El Paso County look ahead. No, by the way, we got slamming Sammy Swindell joining us once again. We got it stacked up like the Waffle House, scattered, smothered, and covered here tonight on the Throwin Sliders podcast. Let's get it. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. We had technical difficulties galore, but we are live on Facebook and YouTube. I got 2 green check marks on both of them. So welcome back. Again, apologies for the late start here, but better late than never. We do promise that we have Mr. Swindell in the lobby. So we know that's why you guys are here tonight. Without further ado, welcome back to season 2 of the Throwin Sliders podcast. As I mentioned, earlier, previously in the last couple months, we kind of did a rebrand in the off season. If you kept up with that, so it's just strictly the Throwin Sliders podcast now under Scrubbin' Tires Media, if I could talk. And so yeah, you just get to see Blair and I's ugly mugs all year long. But got some big stuff in store for you guys, and we're just going to keep ramping this thing up. And we appreciate all the engagement and following and etc. throughout the off season. So we are back in full swing now. Obviously, hopefully we got all the hiccups worked out. So. New guests, new listeners, viewers. I am Brandon Hall, now co-owner of Scrubbin' Tires Media and the Throwin Sliders podcast with my guy to my left, you're right on the screen, and I'll pass it to Blair.
Right on. Just glad to be back. Brandon didn't fire me and got a little bit more embedded in this thing. So excited for season 2. Brandon's been going on 4 years, so since he called me up, it's been a fun time. So excited to talk to Sammy tonight. We got to chat a little bit backstage about dirt and air, and I'm already learning stuff. So should be a good time. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's do it.
All right. Well, Racing Rowdy Ranch back on board again. As we mentioned, got some hats still left over from last year. Blair and I are kind of working on getting that fired back up again with the new season and kind of race coming to fruition. So be on the lookout for that. But we'll play that ad and get Mr. Sammy on deck. So here we go.
Racing Rowdy Ranch was created with one person, one adjective, and one place in mind. The blue-collar racer and the crew behind the scenes, a word that can describe these racers and crews and how they live. Finally, a place where the straightaways and turns are these racers' pastures and hills, all bordered by concrete walls that could share more than their fair share of memories, even after several coats of paint. We are racing. We live rowdy and we long to be at the ranch, riding for the brand. An apparel company designed to showcase just that, push the limits every day and be proud of who we are. Visit RacingRowdyRanch.com now to order yours today. Saddle up, strap in, and live rowdy. Proud presenting partner of Scrubbin' Tires Media and the Throwin Sliders podcast.
All right. Well, welcome back, Mr. Swindell. Part 2, if you will. We had him, if you recall, on last year, first episode right out of the gate. And we promise on Sammy's behalf that we are far more prepared, technical difficulties aside. We are far more prepared. So yeah, welcome back, Sammy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Blair, I'll pass to you. You were door to door, Nerf bar to Nerf bar with this man this past weekend, so I'll let you kick it off.
Right on. Well, Sammy, we've got just a few questions. Some of it probably they're going to say, "Oh, that sounds like that's just something Blair wanted to know." But pick your brain a little bit, and I think a lot of the racers that watch this show will be interested to hear what you have to say. I did do some research on this before, and it doesn't seem like you do a whole lot of media, so we really appreciate the time. But we know for anybody that's local, you flew in out of Tennessee, and you said you had a long day, but you're racing the Gossels cars, came to Lincoln County, Nebraska, and are here for a week. So tell us a little bit about how that came about and what you've been doing. And you said you had a long day, 22 hours and ready to rip, and you're back at it again. So what's it like doing what you're doing now instead of having your own cars all the time? And when you get to a place, you either meet the new people that you're going to run for, or you have a car set up to go. And tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, well, it's definitely different. than having your own car. You get in every day, you get all the little details all knocked out, and it's, I've done it a few times, and for the last few years, I've been driving for different people and different things, and sometimes there are ways of doing things and what's okay, or you just got to learn the language. You get in and be able to, when I get there, get my seat in, get my stuff in, get where I can get comfortable, and then try to look over everything and get as close as I can. So like I said, we were when I went to leave Memphis on Thursday, I was going to be here like 11:30 on Thursday. I wound up getting here about 9 o'clock at night or 10, and then I had to wait 2 hours to get my luggage. So it was about 1 o'clock where I laid down. So it's like I got up at 4, and it's like I don't stop till well, actually, it was 2 in the morning at home. So it's like I've been up for 22 hours. So it's, you get this old, it gets harder. But we got pretty close. Had a decent car. I mean, spent most of the day today going over everything and found a few little details. I think it'll make us a lot better. But overall, I mean, it's like we didn't have any problems and no issues. No, the car was good. It just wasn't great. And the track we were on was a little hard to pass. So there was a lot of times I'd catch somebody and they get there and it's like, well, if I had the whole racetrack, I'd just go on, but they were there. So it's like, it was kind of tight, a little bit different, but we had some weather there and it was real damp and it was kind of misty at that place. It's, you don't know how it's going to change or which direction it's going to go, but we got out, no scrapes or no bumps, so we were able to be positive on everything today. And we got most everything I wanted done.
Tell me how that works. If you say you're coming to a car you've never been in, you bring your seat, I'm guessing, and mount that in. And then do you have a baseline that you like to give, the crew or whoever's the car owner is, and then you just work for there? Or do you let them put on what they think if they've been to that track, and then you just make, tell them what adjustments you want?
Yes, I've kind of got an idea of what I've run with these 360 cars most of the time, but sometimes the cars are a little different, or this is a little different, or you don't have all the shock travels right, and the wings are different. It's just you try to just roll the whole package together, and we've been successful to be able to move forward and everything, but sometimes it's a challenge. You have to really try to put it all together. And,
do you own any of your own stuff anymore, or is it strictly just hopping in other people's rides?
I just own my chili bowl midgets.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
Once a year, everything else I drive for somebody, and sometimes it takes a little bit just to get everything dialed in. Like sometimes I'd come out and drive for somebody, and I'd bring all my own shocks and all the stuff, but sometimes you only look so much weight on those planes for baggage. So
yeah,
I've had shocks.
That's probably why you're. Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably why your luggage took 2 hours to get to you, because they were like, "What in the hell is in this bag?"
Yeah. Well, it's like, most of the time it's like I had seatbelt and stuff in there. They go through it and it's all mixed up. I mean, I come out here last year and they went through all the little zipper compartment on the outside and stuff, and my radio was gone, and my racing glasses were gone. They were like, all this stuff came out of the bag or get put back in. But
Dang.
This year I made it with everything, but they definitely went through it and switched it all around.
Well, at least it's all still there, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, with a little handle that you pull out of your bag, you know, it doesn't go in and out anymore. So somehow they bent that. But and
They know it's Swindell coming through, so they got to give you hell.
it rained in Dallas, so my bag must have been out. So some of the stuff was wet. But
Oh,
Man,
fortunately,
that's
I
nice.
got into it with the seat in, and you know, the Gossels here, they have a washer and dryer, so we had to throw all my stuff in the dryer. That would have been very comfortable with a wetsuit and wet gloves.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
probably not.
It was cold enough anyway. That would've
Yeah, it
been
was cold
miserable.
enough. Yeah, yeah, there's some of the trials and things you go through. You got to overcome it and just suck it up.
Sure.
Most time it goes good. Sometimes it doesn't. But I'm like this year, I'm like the 2 trips I made on the airplanes haven't been too good. It's took 3 times anyway. So
Well, next time you drive Austin's car, you should say,
Right.
"I need a private jet. You know, you come pick me up in Tennessee, and we no more commercial stuff."
yeah, just come get me.
We
ahead,
had we had talked, Sammy, a little bit before, and I found it kind of funny. I was watching, and I wonder, I'm sure you've seen this because obviously we kind of touched on this last time. But when you roll into town, I know anybody that would love to say, "I beat Sammy Swindell" at any of these shows you go to.
Well, you're kind
But
of
have you ever ran into local guys? Like I watched a race the other night at Port Royal. It was a weekly 410 show, but the guy that won, he was actually a repo man. And he had been punched in the face the night before, repossessing somebody's car. I mean, that was a story.
where
But yet then he
breaking
goes
up
out the
on me, so
next.
I can't understand you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? You there?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. I was telling us.
It's all good.
Okay. I was telling a story that I watched a race at Port Royal. It was a weekly show, but a lot of 410 cars there out in Pennsylvania. And the guy who won it was a repo man by day trade. And he had been punched in the face the night before. Goes out, wins a big 410 show. And obviously guys that want to beat guys like you. I mean, you know, the Dietrichs were there. There's a lot of big names in Pennsylvania anytime the posse rolls through. But have you ever run into guys that you were like, damn, that guy can drive, but he may be just a plumber during the work week that surprised you? Was there anybody that stuck out in your mind, or over the years, have you run into a lot of guys like that maybe can't race for a living, but that really probably could if they had either the backing or had started at the right time or made the right contacts?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure I can't think of anything right now, but you know, a lot of times we go these places, I don't know what people do away from the track. You know, that's the only time I see them. So, you know, I'm sure there's different things that go on with different people. And I mean, I've seen some different people run pretty good when they had the right people or the right things. And when I started, that was why I decided that I needed to be able to control everything and be able to do everything, because it's like I don't be sitting on the sideline because I don't have this crew guy or this deal or this deal. You know, I need to be able to control my own destiny. But you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that's got talent, but they never get the right. You know, they're never there at the right time. I mean, it was the same with me when I tried to go to Indy cars, and I got there and I'm up against a 3-time F1 world champion. You know, so it's like I don't think he thought too much of me out qualifying him and running ahead of him in the race. So I got the call on the radio, let him go by. And from then on, when we test, I never got in the car. So it's like, but he controlled the money, you know. So that's what over in Europe, and from there, you line up all the people to bring the money, and then you can be whoever you can like be any way you want to be. I mean, you can just like chew everybody out and be a butthole, but you're bringing the money, so you still get to drive. I'm the guy that like had to better than the other guy or figure out what to do, and you know, like the first test I was at ever drove any car was at Michigan Speed, so it's the fastest one.
Big one.
So So we went quicker than the guy that was there that was a 3-time world champion, in 30 minutes. And then I'm telling them how to make the car go better with more wing on it. So they decided to bring me back. But then I seen how the whole politics play. And, the guy that had the money is the guy that got all the good stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of leads us into
I went to NASCAR and I earned my way into a car. But then it was, when I got there, it was like there were people offering the guy more money to drive the car because now it looks a little bit better.
yeah. Oh, did we lose him?
We froze. We've never had issues like this. Hang with us, everybody. Is your audio choppy too, Brandon?
A little bit, but bits and pieces. I sent you a text to text Austin to maybe get off other devices.
Oh, shoot.
What's that?
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
We lost you for a little bit. Yeah, I was just going to say Blair's texting Austin to get some more technical stuff. But we were talking pre-show before we got you on. How was your end goal to make it to IndyCar or NASCAR? Because obviously you got several starts kind of in all motorsports disciplines. But was that your end goal ultimately, or was it always I'm just going to drive sprint cars, I'm good at it, and then just take these offers as they came in for the kind of the higher tier series?
No, it was my goal just to keep going further and further. It's like I won the first year I ran the whole World Outlaw Series. I won. And come back the next year and win. And so then I had a chance to do some races with Raymond Beadle at NASCAR and maybe do some stuff that way. But it's, like I said earlier, it's like I didn't control the money. If I could control the money, then I could do whatever I want to do. But
yeah,
no,
that's fair.
A lot of these kids, but it's like, I would earn my way in there, but I had trouble staying there because I wasn't the one that was bringing the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I knew people, and everywhere I went that I tested against, ran the same car the same day or the same deal, I was always fast. But I found out once I started doing that, it doesn't matter if you're better. They want the guy to bring money.
Yep. It's unfortunate. It's still happening today. And the higher you go, it's just unfortunate.
Sprint cars, I can still drive and do things, but anybody I talk to, they want me to bring money.
Yep. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, even you've done it all, and they still want it. If maybe that kind of was another point that we had, is it, I think I saw that even as a kid, because you knew where the money was. It was in NASCAR. Indy kind of, by the time I'm 36. So by the time I came up into high school and stuff, it seemed like really the only choice that everybody thought was, if I was going to race, NASCAR is the place I want to end up, in America at least. And then did we lose him again?
Maybe. It's hard to tell. You still there, Sammy?
Are we still there?
Yep.
Yeah,
there you are.
I was going to ask if, all things considered, like I said, NASCAR was really the road that everybody wanted to go when I was, in high school.
Oh. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear a little bit of it every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah, we tried to tell Austin to turn off Wi-Fi on all of their devices so we can get a better feed for you.
Yeah,
okay.
He did. We'll edit it. Well, like I said, we'll edit it in post. But so like when I was in school, everybody wanted to go to NASCAR. It seemed like that was the only place to go, and all these other series didn't really get the shine. But if you had a binary choice, and this is how I think now, I think a lot more people would say if the money was equal, if the opportunities, all things considered, if it was a binary decision, I hear a lot more kids say, I'd rather just go to the World of Outlaws or high limit sprint cars, to where I don't think that was the same back when we were younger. I think that's really changed. Even the coverage, I didn't get much dirt coverage as a kid.
Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And maybe it's
they're getting some of the purses up. It's like
Hmm.
the money you can make there. I mean, it was the same when I first went down. The first time I ran a stock car was at Daytona. My first
Jeez.
trip there, and I remember being down to trying to get my pass and all my license and stuff together. And Jimmy Spencer was there, and he was like yelling at them because they didn't want to give him the license. And it's like, I better be quiet. License, get out of here. Just a guy that runs dirt cars, and it's like, how do I have any business making my first race at Daytona? So
Yeah.
But it was just the people that I knew that got me there, and we made the whole ran the whole race. I mean, we were like mid pack, but that wasn't too bad for somebody just going up out of the sprint car and racing Daytona. So
especially there,
it's different. There's always some politics and always, but in the end, the money is.
Yeah. So I this time around having you back on the show, I kind of did a deep dive into your stats. So just quickly off the top, 309, and correct Google if they're wrong, Sammy. 394 World of Outlaw A main victories, but who's counting? Second behind Mr. Kinzer. 400 estimated on Google, 448 major sprint car wins, probably not including some of the local shows. 5-time Chili Bowl national titles, Knoxville national winner. I mean, the list goes on. Kings Royal, three-time winner. So with all that, what keeps you going? Is it a number of stats? Is it a number of wins, championships? Is it just you can't give it up? Like you see a lot of. We were just talking a lot about NASCAR. You see a lot of these drivers once they get a wife, some kids in their 40s, they kind of disappear, and that's it. But you continue to just keep going every single year. So what's the driving factor for you?
Well, I've missed a lot of that middle part there, but it's I just keep doing it because I can, I guess. People keep calling me to do things, so I can still.
I mean, obviously you love it. I mean, you still have to love it, right? I mean, you just, I mean, that win, is it the drive to win too? I mean, you seem pretty happy around the racetrack. Everybody says Sammy's quiet. He's not talkative much. And I'm like, well, we got him on the podcast and he was real nice and he talked quite a bit. I mean, we had a good time. So I think there's maybe even some misconception there. And maybe I've changed as I'm getting, to be a full grown adult now. I mean, I'm still pretty immature, but, I don't know. I can't see, there's times where I think guys get scared. I think like when we said with wife, kids, family, they might start really thinking about things. That's why they send 18-year-old kids to war. And they said they're trying to put younger guys into sprint cars, because you don't think like that. But obviously it must just be, I mean, you have the love of the game still, I would assume, right? I mean, you love being in the race car.
Yeah. Well, the driving part, that's what I love, getting out there and doing it, because then it's just me in the car, and there's a lot of times that people say, well, I don't say much at the track. Well, I'm a lot of times I'm running the whole operation. So it's like, I got to keep an eye on things and make sure, look at the track, do this. And my problem, I mean, it's not a problem, but I'll have maybe 50 to 100 people that want to talk to me.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you can't, if I spent 5 minutes with 100 people, well, how many minutes?
Miss the main.
A lot, yeah.
I don't even know there was a race going on.
Right.
Sure.
It's not a bad deal, but it's like sometimes I shake your hand, do this, and walk on, and people don't understand that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just think, well, I want to talk to you. Well, it's like,
you
can't go to an NFL game, you can't go to an NBA game, you can't go to an IndyCar or NASCAR and go talk to the drivers.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I've had people trying to get me to sign stuff as they were pushing me back.
Wow.
The appropriate you have arm restraints. I can't even reach their pin, but they're they're pushing me back, and it's like, well, how do I steer this and sign your autograph? It's
a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, it's good, but people got to respect.
It's old.
I'm not there on vacation. I'm not there I'm there for you to watch me race and
Mhm.
enjoy that part. But
Sure.
there's a time for it, and there's a lot of times I stay after the race for 2 or 3 hours and do what anybody wants me to do, or
Mhm.
sign anything they want to sign. And some people have me sign everything.
Yeah.
But
We lose you
still
again?
we're there, and
Oh, there we
for a little bit, you know, it's like, well, if you would have showed up at 3 o'clock, I would have had time for you.
Right.
There's people that don't understand that part, and it's, it's like, I have a great time when I'm there. Try to have the best time I can, do the best I can, and the reason people keep calling me to come out here is because I put butts in the seat or in seats.
Yeah.
We sell
You do.
tickets. Somewhat, I'm not bragging, but it's like,
No,
it's
it's yeah.
a lot of places I go that people never got to see me or haven't, so they get a chance to.
Mm-hmm. I even have friends that are like, they couldn't race against you because they would fanboy out, because they've watched you your whole career, and I just know they'd be a mess. And luckily I didn't follow dirt that long, and I try to be robotical, but I do know that is a thing. It's funny how that works, but you need to tell them. I remember a comedian, that Rodney Carrington, he's pretty famous comedian. He said, when they do that to him, he says, I don't come and throw rocks at you while you're mowing. I got a job to do.
Exactly.
So,
It's like, I want to go to your job and talk to you all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Let's
weird.
go to the break room and have a Coke.
Yeah. Come by my lunch break. We'll talk.
Well, my boss won't let me do that. Well, I don't
Yeah.
care. I'll be there.
Yeah. It's a good analogy. Does that tying into that conversation? So like for you, not that we ever want to see you stop racing, but what is that? Is it an age? Is it just when you can't be competitive, when you stop getting phone calls? When do you call it?
I don't know, because tomorrow is going to be the oldest I've ever been.
That's fair.
So I don't know what, it's like, I didn't think I'd be doing it this long, but it's like,
Yeah.
I've been blessed.
Yeah.
God blessed me with all this talent. He's blessed me with all this health. He's blessed me with whatever I have. So I keep doing it. And it's like,
Wow.
it's like, you pray, it's like, well, should I still be doing this? It's like, you got more to go. So it's like, okay, I keep doing it.
That's
And
awesome.
until it's
I think
that point, I don't know. It might be tomorrow. It might be 10 years, but I almost hope it isn't 10 years.
yeah.
This is something I worry about.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I feel like I'm in my 30s, but some of my plumbing is like I'm 70.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted to ask you about, because I'm 36. Obviously, I told you I started a couple years ago with the sprint cars, but I mean, we see, like, we looked up even the average statistics. Most drivers in their prime are 39. Well, I'm still learning a lot in this car, so I'm probably not going to hit that by that time. I don't know how long it takes to really be completely comfortable. Like the other night, I ran without the nose wing. Brian Gossel and I both, we got in that first lap crash. And it's something I'd never done before. I've had bent nose wings, but there's so much to learn. Do you feel like at some point you were at your absolute peak, or is it just, if they give you a good car still, you can go to the front and you're going to win? I mean, is there anything to do with that? Does that create a factor as age?
Well, the only thing is, like I could say, I can't do 100 nights. I know I can't do 100 nights like I used to do, but I can do 25.
Yeah. Okay.
So you let me come in, let me take a break, let me come back in, let me go out and take a break. I'm okay. But it's like, and I understand that, because it's just all the stuff it takes for me to do a night or so. You can't do that many. If I was somebody like some of the other guys that just drove the cars, it's like, man, I could do this till 100.
It's all the other stuff. Yeah.
Be the one that's like, you're still watching the track, calling the shots, making the changes, doing the things. It's like, there's a lot for me to do every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes total sense because
I'm not
and I'm
in
sure the road is hard.
Yeah.
Just a lot of years on the road would be one of the hardest parts to me because I still have to work a day job. And then by the time we get back and I got to go to work on Monday and then do it all again, like I can manage 20, 23 races a year besides financially, it's just tough, but just being absolutely at the end of the season, I can't wait for it to be over. And then by the 2 weeks after the season's over, I'm like, dang, I wish we were racing again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's where I'm at. It's like, I can't do it every night.
mhm.
It's unfortunate I came in here and I was up for 22 hours. So it's like, I got to take a break, but
Sure.
I can show up and race and be at least %. So it's the same kind of thing you're talking about. But I've still got to, if I come on and win, I don't want to just be here and
Sure.
just participate. If it gets to that,
Yeah.
but the deal is, it's like people say, well, why you still do it? It's like, because I don't run last.
That's
Yeah.
it. No, that makes
unless something broke, it's not up to me. It's like I don't run in the back or don't run.
Mm-hmm.
Back. I can run in the front half.
right.
Yeah, I have a chance. But
Yeah.
again, when you're going and driving different stuff for different people, if it was like my stuff, it was like, and I had everything the way I wanted, and I had something that was like as good as a car like Brad Sweet or David Gravel drives. Like I could show up and like have a chance of winning some races.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I wanted to.
until somebody decides that, like, well, this guy could go do all this R&D for us and make us better if we just let him race 15 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's doing this offer yet. So I'm bouncing around doing this other stuff, and it's like, yeah, I know I don't have an opportunity to win, but sometimes I do. Like last year, I ran 18 races. I won 6.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that's crazy.
I know I'm not in the best stuff.
Right.
I wanted to ask you. So it was almost a year ago to the date when you did the Riverside International Speedway with High Limit last year, and Blair and I were texting back and forth. An unfortunate night where I think you had something break. How was that whole circus? Was it? We talked about it last year on the show with you before you had gone to that race, but how was that whole thing from start to finish?
Well, for me, it wasn't good at all.
Yeah, with the car breaking, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just an unfortunate deal that a different U-joint got put on and it didn't fit, and we had all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
And it took us forever to get it apart and fix it, because I went out in warm-ups and ran. Everything was fine. We got to qualify, and it's like the drive line won't even move. It's all welded together. So, and then we got ready to run there. For our heat, we didn't have time. We didn't get to fix it because it took so long to get it apart.
Yeah. But how was the whole flow of, obviously you've been World of Outlaws, you've kind of seen different organizations. How was the High Limit, deal run comparatively?
Well, it ran all right, and that was out the home track, and I felt I had an advantage. And like the track, it was one of those deals where the river was going up. So, like, we got ready to start the heat races. The water was coming up through the track, which
I remember that.
So I had a lot of things going for me that I would know what it was going to do and where it was going to be. And so me going to some high limit race to some place I've run 10 times. So place that I've run probably 50 or 60 times.
Yeah.
And it's a unique deal because the track depends on what the river's doing.
Yeah. That blew my mind. I was texting Blair and I was like, What is it? It's 3 and 4, right? I mean, it's the whole track, but the issue they had that night, it was like seeping up through 3 and 4, and it was just even the camera could see it. And I'm like, that is next level stuff there.
Well, most of it, because the straightaways are a little bit lower, the water was really coming up down the inside of the straights.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an unusual time, and it doesn't happen a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
it does happen. You know, I've
Yeah.
been to like different places, like we go to Ascot, and they were saying, well, the tide's coming in, so it's going to be heavier, or the tide's going out, it's going to be drier. And the people that were there knew, so you would have to let the people that were there to like what's going on, because you can't, you can't see the ocean, you can't see the river, but it's making an effect on which way the track goes.
Yeah, add that to the chess piece of sprint car racing too. What the river beside the tracks doing.
It's like, we went there, we qualified good, but I mean, I could have qualified really good, but we had a oil pressure line come loose, and then I couldn't see. So one time I was bouncing off the backstretch wall, but we still qualified enough that, and ran my heat that I got in the dash. So it's like, how we come there with a completely different car that's a coilover car and a whole different configuration and make the dash. It's so much experience and stuff from being there and doing that and doing different things and knowing what the track's going to do. And having
that's why
be.
Why they keep calling you back.
Yeah.
I see we're at about 37. I only have one more question, Brandon. I don't want to tie you up too long, Sammy. I know we got you for a little while, but I just kind of wanted to know, and this may be too high. I think I might be too stupid to ask this question, but it's something obviously, again, that I think about a lot. I watch guys like you hear so much about Kyle Larson and I mean you and all the guys, Wolfgang from sprint cars that make them special. But I wonder sometimes when we don't get to run these professional shows a lot. I mean, you get some big names that you get to race against and stuff, and you see these guys are just good. I mean, they have good equipment. I've always said, whether it was on asphalt, it felt like to me it was 70% car, 30% driver. But is there something that you think about as you've done it as a professional for a long time that maybe local guys don't understand about what they're doing in the race car? I mean, there's obviously, like I've been starting to try to learn a lot more about braking. We've talked about that a lot now, to where I never heard that, and back in the day, it was everybody try to get in, get out, but nobody really talked about brakes. So is there something that maybe being at that high level that local and regional guys don't know about driving a sprint car, or something that they misunderstand? So in other words, when I started, I thought you just wanted to get the car in the corner as hard as you possibly could. So I would just try to wing that thing over. And it seemed like that actually hurt me. And the fast guys would drive right by me, so I've been trying to change that, but little things like that. Is there, I guess, what's the secret, Sammy?
Well,
tell you.
Tell people all the time, I just want to go for a ride. I go for a ride, then I'm relaxed. If I can get the car to do all the work, then I can't make a mistake. If my car's good enough and I can run 90%, I can win more races running 90% because I can make every lap 90%. But like people think, you just drive them harder, you just do this. It's like, no, you got to get the car to do the work. Everything has to flow together, and the less you do, the faster it goes.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
But and I see people, they want to well, I'll just drive it harder, or I'll drive it in and I'll do this, but they don't figure, well, how do you get out of the corner? You get in there, but you got to get out.
That sounds personal almost.
Yeah, you're the king of that.
I feel attacked. So I've really been working on it, but it's a hard I watched too much YouTube of the Outlaws just flat footing in hot laps when I first got the sprint car. And I thought, well, I'm just going to, exactly like you said, nobody's going to outballs me, in other words, but it turns out that was not the way to do it. Well,
you got to be relaxed enough. You want to, I mean, the best thing for me to do is hold it wide open, let go of the wheel, and just put my hands right here on my chest and put it in the middle of the track, and then the car just goes around by itself. That's as fast as it'll go. So any correction you do, people start they want to force the car and they want to make the steering wheel make it happen, and it's like not that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need to run it in there, but then you kind of just don't need to do much anything, and then whichever way it goes, then you say, well, it's too tight or too loose, and then you just break the corners down, and you get to where when you drive it, you know, it's like all I do is go down there to the corner and I lean my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's still about just keeping everything smooth, keeping it straight, and keeping it wide open. You know, if you can do all those things, but you know, if you got to start putting corrections in, and you're correcting, well, if you're correcting all the way around the track, you're not going to be very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what he's saying, Blair, is you suck and quit overdriving the car.
Hey, I
is what I got.
have been really, we talked about that. I've been trying to work on it because I really just, that was my assumption of getting the car around. And in some things you could do it because I mean, I feel like I would fatigue myself, but in lower classes, like a mini sprint or something, I could just muscle the car around. And I had enough horsepower compared to some other guys that you could just hang on. And if I figured A main or ambulance, you know, it didn't matter. But these cars, if you spin the tires for 0.2 of a second, somebody's 4 cars off. I mean, it's just a different game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got more things are like you're into a box, or it's more spec stuff. So it's like it's just got to flow.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to go.
That's pretty cool coming from you, because I figured everybody else was just lying to me, but I know coming from, I was like, I'm going to keep just driving it so hard. It'll fix itself, or I'll figure out how to set it up. And that really has just been the opposite. It's only hurt. And the more comfortable I got in the sprint car and used to the speed and everything, I was like, okay, now I know that I'm going to push it all the way, you know, 110%. And I finally, this last few races, I was like, okay, this isn't working. We need to make the correction. So it's funny to hear you say that. I mean, I've been told that, but I've been reluctant, you know.
I mean, but still, like, you know, the smaller tracks, you got to hustle. You know, it's like I say, you hustle. You don't drive them. You just get on top of everything. So you're like, everything's coming at you. You know, like you're flying a fighter jet inside a gymnasium. You know, so you gotta, you know, if you don't turn that jet, you're gonna hit the wall. One of the walls. It's like, you know, you can run it wide open and not turn the wheel and just run right off the end of the track, you know, but a lot of times the car should do things. You want the car to do the work for you. And then you can go for a ride.
Right. Yeah, it's funny.
When you do that, it slows down. It's like I've got to, you know, I can go back and say, like, I could go to the batting range, you know, and I can hit the softball slow pitch, you know, and then I could go to the fast pitch, and it might take me just a couple times, and then I'm like hitting every one of them. And it's like, people, how do you do it? Well, you just got to slow everything down in your mind, know when the ball's coming at you, and know when to swing. So it's the same in a race car. You don't want to. It's even if somebody goes and plays golf, if you got a death grip on the golf club, you're not going to hit it very far. You know, everything has to flow. So
yeah,
it's even your breathing. It's like, you know, when you come off the corner, you inhale, and when you get to the end of you go into the corner, you exhale. You know, it's like you got to time all this stuff and just go for a ride.
Racing 101.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Sammy Swindell. It's good stuff.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but
you know, and it's funny too. Go ahead.
Well, you're just looking for the perfect car. You know, and the perfect car is don't make any mistakes. And you can win 90%.
Easier said than done.
Then you got the other guys behind you. They're trying to go 110. And they're bouncing off everything.
Yeah.
And they have
you know, it's
100% race.
It's funny because like the other problem I have is I can't put together multiple cars. So talk about stress when I'm like, I'm going to go 110%, but I also can't wreck it by the end of the race. My arms are hanging and I'm stressed out, and then it's like, I can't wait to do it again. But I'm like, okay, something's got to change because shit, I'm pretty strong. But when I couldn't undo my shoes at Dodge City, I told my wife, I said, we screwed something up and I gotta figure this out because I was a limp noodle getting out of the car.
Meanwhile, Sammy's going to run a 5K after Dodge City.
Yeah, Sammy's going to get some dinner.
Yeah, I got to drive for 400 miles to the next race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all about this.
Work smarter, not harder, Blair, is what he's trying to tell you.
Well, that's good advice. I appreciate it. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, that was good.
I've been working on it, but 90%.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to get all the parts of the puzzle to work for you.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, buddy. We know you.
Puzzle together, up and down.
Yeah. No doubt.
Go sit on the side of the table.
Yeah. Walk away for a minute.
Yeah, just walk away and think about it, and it's like, well, I want to do this.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it, but it's like you might have to do 10 things to get 5 of them to be a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Slow it down. Go slow to go fast. How many times have we heard that in racing? But it doesn't click when you're in the car.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, we know you've been up for almost 24 hours now, so we appreciate the time as always. Part 2, and hopefully you keep coming back to our neck of the woods, and we can keep having you on the show. We could literally go all night asking you questions, and the fans obviously watching here live on our channels could ask even more questions. So we want to let you get back to tinkering with the car, get it right to go whoop Blair's butt on Saturday in El Paso. So appreciate the time as always, buddy. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have a guy like yourself come on our show and chat with us. And we learn something every time we talk to you. So I'll pass it to Blair, but appreciate the time, Sammy.
No, I'm the same. But Sammy, if I bring something for you to sign, I push you, I still expect it to be signed. All right.
You just got to show up you got to show up before we start the motors.
Yeah.
All right. No, I've never wanted to bother you. I've seen you around, and I thought, I'll go say hi or something. But on race day, I got so much going on. We don't really have I've finally had a little bit of a crew this weekend, but it's usually just my wife and father-in-law. So if my brother's not there, so I'm busy too. But and I know what you mean. I have people try to talk to me, and I'm like, I'm the only, we're a small team, so I really can't stand around and bullshit until after. And then I got to drive home, so I'm towing, doing all that, and we got a little crew, and it's like, man, I got to get out of here. But I love to talk to anybody because we don't have the same problem you do. So I always thought it'd be beautiful women and in bikinis and stuff, but it's usually the plumbers and the blue collar boys. So I appreciate them too, but it's a fun time. So look forward to seeing you, and we really do appreciate it. And we'll come say hi at least on Saturday before we fire the engines. So good luck this weekend too. We appreciate you coming.
Sure, no problem. We'll just everybody come there early or come there late.
Yeah.
We got.
Right on.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, good luck to you, Sammy, and keep it rubber side down and give these boys a run. And we'll be definitely checking in from the outside in, checking in on you and how that's going. But appreciate the time tonight, and go get you some rest, and let Austin get some rest as well.
Yeah. Well, we found a half a second in the shop today, so everybody's got to be.
There you go. Well, there you go. Half a second. Everybody beware.
Damn.
All
Now
right,
we're
Sammy.
getting a half off.
Yeah. All right, Sam, we appreciate you, buddy. Go get some rest.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
All right. See you.
Bye.
All right. Sammy Swindell on Throwin Sliders podcast, part 2. Man, we could really just keep going all night long, but
I would try to learn everything I possibly could. I mean, what an awesome opportunity. So, and like I said, I know he doesn't do many interviews. I found one other podcast, so we're pretty grateful. It's pretty awesome. So next year we'll try to have a little bit of the technical difficulties figured out, but we'll cut it. And it's always, I mean, still amazing. So, I mean, just the knowledge that guy has is
absolutely, and to be an open book and be able to share that. So, but amazing. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. If you joined early, we're about 30 minutes or so and change off from our original starting time. But hey, we got them in. That's what mattered tonight. So we got really 2 more segments. One is brand new for season 2 here on Throwin Sliders podcast. We'll dive into that in just a second. Then we're going to actually get into, talking about El Paso County this weekend. Obviously, if you follow, Blood, Sweat, Tears promotion on Facebook, they've done a great job of promoting both the Lincoln County race and the upcoming El Paso County race, which is, Blair, correct me if I'm wrong, of a rain makeup from the 2 weekends ago, where Mother Nature in Colorado kind of just decided she didn't want any racing going on. So it is a makeup. But yeah, Sammy will be there, Blair will be there, big names. But yeah, so let's get right into this new segment, if you will, that Blair and I kind of talked about in the off season. If you do follow the High Limit Racing series, you probably saw that Larson, Abreu, all those kind of bigger names of that series actually got incorporated with some betting via NXT. Flow Racing also has some interest in there as well. So Blair and I came up with a good idea that we just kind of talk about that on the show, talk about the odds, if they're prepared in time for the show, like High Limit has a race on Wednesday. So yeah, we're just going to kind of talk through the odds there. Blair and I will make some hypothetical bets, and then we can give each other some hell or heck the next show based on our bets. So yeah, we'll get right into that. We do have a cool intro, and then we're going to share our screen and show you the odds. So here we go.
We have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen.
How sweet is that? That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I like that. All right. I'll go ahead and share my screen. If I can do this correctly. All right. So this, like I said, on Wednesday, the High Limit sprint cars are back. They got a egregious schedule this week, but they are going back to Texarkana Speedway. They've been off. Speaking of Mother Nature, they got rained out like 3 times in a row, so they've been off for like a month or so. So anyway, and then they go to Texas Motor Speedway, the dirt track, obviously. They got a 2-day event there with the Cup and trucks going to Texas. I think the Xfinity's there too. So you got some high NASCAR guys joining the field. Larson, Stenhouse, Christopher Bell actually is going to make one of the shows. So some big names there, and obviously the other guys too, which are just as big, just not in the NASCAR scene. So Blair, sharpen your pencil. Looks like we have, if I could scroll to the right thing, make your picks here. So the favorite, if you can see right here on your screen here, looks like Mr. Brad Sweet, which why wouldn't he been? I think he's won 2 of the last 3 High Limit races. So he's at a 266 odds. Obviously Larson, a little bit behind him, Abreu, Tyler Courtney, and Brent Marks. So they didn't give us a lot of odds to pick from. But hypothetically speaking, I'll let you go first, Blair, if you're going to put a $10 bet.
Well,
I always let you go first, and it screws me, honestly.
No, I always pick like the worst pick, but somebody I just want to see win. So if I was actually gambling, I'd be in the hole about a house. So,
right.
I think where are they racing at? Paris?
Texarkana.
Oh, Texarkana. Okay. Oh yeah, that was at Paris. They already raced. I watched that race. Texarkana. Yeah. I'm going to give it to Reitzel. Is he on there? He should be.
He is not. He is not on the opening. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, they should have him at about plus 200. So
yeah.
But if
and that's the thing. Yeah, I was just going to say that's the thing. So this is obviously you see the URL. This is from High Limit Racing. NXT is the betting promotion, but we checked before the podcast, and they don't have the odds out, so they only gave us these couple of drivers. But if you're taking Reitzel and you're thinking he's a plus 200, so that would pay out.
Oh, I wouldn't say. I mean, actually, by looking at the line, which I'm not really into, I've never sports gambled, but by looking at these odds, I'd put him because he's not going to get Kyle Larson odds. He's going to be at a plus 425. Would probably be where I'd set him on the line, but he would still be my pick. And if I was betting money, that would be where I put it.
Okay, so we'll go 425 Reitzel for Blair. So that would pay out $42.50 right there. I am actually going to go not on the line because I think any of these is low-hanging fruit, right? Brad Sweet, like we talked about, he's won, he's on a hot streak. I think him and actually Casey Kane too, there you see him 7th in the standings, which you and I talked, Blair, that's kind of a phenomenon. I'm glad to see Casey's kind of making a comeback. But Brad Sweet's obviously point leader. I'm not going to take any of the low hanging fruit. I do love the Tyler Courtney. I think that's a really good, not really good odds for him. But if you put $10 on that to win 120, call it $9, that's pretty good. I don't know. We tried to look up before the show previous, win history, etc. The high limit at least has not gone to this speedway. I don't know if they went there in 23. But kind of hard to see. Brady Bacon won there in a wingless car, but obviously he's probably plus 3,000 odds. But I'm going to go with the guy who's been on a hot streak since they've kind of had all these rain delays. And I'm going to go, where was it? Dason Persley. I didn't confirm if he's entered. I would imagine he is, but they haven't sent out the entry list yet. But I want to say if these guys' odds, if I scroll back down here, I'm going to say Dason's probably in the 15 plus 1,500 to 2,000 range. And I think just, as it is with any driver, when you're on a hot streak, you're on a hot streak in a car. So I'm going to take Dason, we'll just call it 2,000 odds to win $200 there. I'm going to beat you, Blair.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's good. That's
so we'll see.
My wife in the comments picked Spencer Basin, and the only reason, this is the kind of bullshit I put up with, is he wrecks the car, trashes it. I think Paris or Kern or something, and she didn't know who he was. But anyway, the car's sitting on the ground chassis, and he gets out, and she has a new favorite driver. I said, oh, because he's a
comment too, yeah.
So
you know, women pick their favorite driver. All about looks. He could be running dead last. Like, oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's had a rough one these last. I've seen him wreck a lot, but he can drive, so that's not a bad pick. But she's not picking him because she thinks he's going to win.
Yeah, a funny story about that. It was actually yesterday's winner in the Cup Series, Austin Cindric. For the longest time, Mike Land was just like, "Oh, he's cute." I'm like, "How in the world do you think?" Anyway, but now she's like, he kind of looks like a nerd. I'm like, well, he kind of is, but
she married one, so. She's got it.
She did. I got the glasses now. We got it all. Got the haircut. We're good. So hopefully you guys kind of like that segment. Obviously, we're not inclining to betting or telling you to go bet, but it's just a fun kind of follow along. We can talk about who's got the hot hand, who's a favorite, and kind of play a game between Blair and I like we've done in the past, picking Knoxville Nationals, Chili Bowl winners, kind of like that. But we're going to do it on a continuing basis. Anytime that, there's a race upcoming for high limit, we can get into the World of Outlaws as well. They have the same betting odds with NXT and stuff like that. So just fun to follow along and pick some drivers, and maybe Blair and I will start betting when it becomes. It's only legal. The NXT thing is only legal in a couple states, and Colorado is not one of them yet. So if you're in the Colorado area, unfortunately, you have to actually play along with Blair and I. You can't place any bets yet. But I believe it'll be coming to more and more states as they continue on. So there we go. We got a bold prediction there. Yeah. Break the track record in Texas.
Very possible.
Yeah. I mean, I was there last year for that race, actually, if you guys recall. And I can't remember. I don't even know who won. But that was a good time. I hope for the sake of that track at the end of the week that it has more moisture, because holy smokes, it was dry as a bone, and then they tried to overcompensate, and it was just a slip and slide, and it was kind of a mess. And
they'll get it right.
It delayed the show, man, because they were putting so much water, and then they'd get out there and have to pack it for
soppy.
I mean, it was. They had every vehicle. I think they were asking people in the pits. I don't even know.
Yeah.
They were packing it for 40 minutes or so.
Cowhand show.
Yeah. Excuse me. That's a great segue. Let's talk about Cowhand this weekend.
It's fan appreciation night, so it should be nice weather. Saturday, May 3rd, we start qualifying. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to look it up, Brandon. But anyway, it's gonna be. I mean, Sammy's gonna be there. Car counts are gonna be up. I know. I think it was actually better that the show got canceled the first time. I think the weather being nicer and pushing it back a little bit. But should be a good show. So let's see here. Let me just pull it up because I hope to see everybody there. This is one thing, like when we race at home, I mean, this is my closest track to home besides Pueblo. So we got two that are anywhere close. But it says qualifying's at 4 o'clock. So I did figure that's why I wanted to check. These early races in the year, they try to bump them up a little bit. But there they have a time limit anyway. So if you are bringing your family and stuff, it's not one of those races where you're going to be sitting there till midnight, because that's one thing, Joe and those crew, they get the show rolling. So it looks like they have hobby stock, sport compact, 600s, warriors, stock cars, sport mods, dwarf cars, and junior compact. So if you've ever wanted to see a different class run, they're all going to be there. So I'm sure we'll probably run a little bit earlier in the night, but Jesus, he couldn't have fit another class on the schedule. Holy shit. But
yeah, I'm actually looking at the weather, if this would cooperate with me.
Well, but it's 4 o'clock while you're looking. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it should be, Saturday, 67, a little breezy,
perfect.
but 2% chance of precipitation. There's 100% chance of participation. But anyway, weather looks great.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're in the area and don't have anything going on, unfortunately, like myself, get your butts in the seats, fill those grandstands, and cheer on your favorite driver. But go ahead, Blair. I kind of
no, I'm sure that place will sell out too. So I do know you can get tickets online. Look forward to seeing everybody. Like Sammy said, if those kind of shows, when you do know a lot of people, we don't have the same problem he does with fans and stuff, but a lot of friends and everything. So if we don't get to talk to you, at the beginning there, honestly, I never try to be rude. I love all my redneck fans and all you wild boys out there. So love to see the shirts and stuff. But main events start at 6 o'clock, so it won't be a late one. So get out there for qualifying. And I'm going to drive at 90% this weekend, and we'll see how that goes.
There we go. He's going to get a win.
Yeah. I drove it definitely 120% without the nose wing last week.
Well, so. you gotta adjust on the fly when stuff like that happens. But
that was crazy. But for those that don't know, I just kept hitting everything. So car spinning in front of me, wiped out a bunch of stuff, and we still finished the race back in 12th. Started 12th, went back to put in we had to do work under red, and then they put me to the back, so restarted 21st, I think, and ended up working back to 12th without a nose wing. So we're learning.
Very impressive. Yeah. I felt like there for a while I was bad luck every time I come to help you. We got rained out the one night, and then you hit everything but the pace truck, even though there isn't one. That one night broke the axle and everything. So I'm glad it's not me that's causing that.
Well, that's exactly what we were talking about. Is I qualified pretty good because I think there was only 2. Nick Nichols drew the 99 pill, and then so we were way in the back there, and I qualified I think 6th on the board. So in fact, I might have beat Sammy. I have to think about that. But, I beat him twice in qualifying, and then he races around me in circles. But anyway, and then in the heat race, I got a little greedy and thought, I'm going to send it in there. And shit, I only went about 60 feet too far into the corner and just barely got turned around. And then Austin Gossel, he ran right in, didn't even know where to go. So I'm going to try not to do that this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, I qualified second that night.
Dang.
Damn, even better than I thought.
Way better. That's awesome. Well, yeah, man, give it 90% and don't crash it this time. And like I said, I'm just glad I'm not the bad omen every time I come out there to help you. Something happens. So
yeah, we'll get you back out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Summer starting up. Obviously, I'm not really racing this year again, just because there's nothing within 8 hours for the outlaw stuff. So I'll be trying to help Blair as much as I can, as much as my schedule with already a 9-month-old permit. So
flies.
Yeah, I know. It flies. 9 months in, 9 months out. It's crazy. So but yeah, we're looking forward to this season. Hopefully you guys continue to share us, tell your friends. We won't spill the beans yet. We got some hopeful big things in the works for the whole page. But we'll keep you guys updated on that, and we're going to try to continue to pump out content for you guys. We think it's good to keep the interaction up, in the off season too. But now that we're kind of back in form, tell your friends, like, share. We did create that new YouTube page kind of with the rebrand. So if you haven't already, please go there. Just search Scrubbing Tires Media on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get notifications for anytime we post anything live like that. And obviously keep tabs with us on Facebook. And we love the interaction too. Obviously, we created that mailbag. So if you guys have anything you want to tell us, off the cuff, in secret, give us suggestions, tell Blair how bad he is, whatever you want to do, that link is on one of our recent posts. So be sure and check that out. But yeah, looking forward to the upcoming season. And yeah, we're back in swing, and hopefully we get all the technical bugs worked out. Hopefully that was the last of that. So apologies again, but yeah, looking forward to hearing about how this race weekend goes for Blair and Sammy and everybody. So I'll pass it to Blair and shut up. But yeah, excited we're back. So.
No, that's it. I think the only thing I wanted to touch on is got to run. That was a new series. I mean, it was combined. So I knew Chris McCulley from Casper, got to see him. A lot of familiar faces there in North Platte, Nebraska. But if you are in that area or somewhere close, go to a race there. It's a good time. Great stands, fans. It's a lot of fun. The weather was, it ended up working out okay. Fine mist. Tires were making vapor trails. Wild times. But I will say that the Malvern Bank 360 series, for any of you that are out there racing and haven't been to that Nebraska area, if you're thinking about traveling, those guys were top-notch professionals. The cars were really nice, and they treated us extremely well. Obviously, Joe cross-promoted. He has, the license on the track to run it. But just all around, I mean, top quality. So I was really, our weekend didn't go as we wanted. I got caught up spinning car in the heat race, wiped me out. And then in the main first lap, I knew we had the Rocket. I mean, absolutely probably one of the best cars I've had. And I piled in there, and Trimble actually was in front of me, couldn't see, car spun around, and bam, I whacked him. Gossel, actually, Brian, but then we both got to race without nose wings. But other than that, the whole show, everybody was, talk about on time, ready to go, blow the air horn, let you know when you're up, how much time you got, if you needed anything. Awesome. I know they actually pushed us back one feature behind the stock cars. The guy must have popped a motor or had problems with it, and they swapped motors. So they gave him a little extra time, got him out there so we could all race. And man, they must have done it fast. It had to be a 20-minute turnaround on swapping the motors. So this regional stuff these guys are competitive. So go watch it. And if you see that series on the schedule, go check out a race with them. There's a lot of cars. I know they had 34 cars their first weekend. Very competitive guys and a good time. So hopefully we can give them hell next time. Trimble was the highest finisher out of our group. He got to 7th after he had a little bit of a rough start to the day too. So just really impressed. It's always cool to see that well-run events and a good co-sanctioned deal. So
yeah, absolutely. And if you guys, like I said, follow Blood, Sweat, Tears promotion, Mosca was actually in the neck of the wood over Easter. It's where my wife is from down there. So they reopened that track after it's been 10, 15 years, something like that. So you guys in that kind of southwestern region, you got dirt track. I don't know off the top of my head how many races they're going to run there this year, but so yeah, I mean, more dirt tracks coming, locally. Get your butts in the seats. That's how you can show support, keep these things alive, and give us something to talk about every Monday night. So
yeah. Sponsor a race car. Dang, it's getting hard out there.
That too. But yeah,
$1,800 order from Speedway today.
Yeah, tariffs are a thing too.
Yeah. So if anybody out there, just start back. I'm gonna be standing on a corner here pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh, great! I can't wait to see reels of that.
Panhandling, but either way,
yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Tara, please record that if he gets that desperate. I'd love that. Go stand in a bathing suit on the corner. Be good. Good stuff. Oh gosh, here we go. On that note, we're going to end before we get canceled for season 2. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you tuning in. If you didn't catch us live, we're still on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, obviously YouTube, Facebook, however you want to watch us. We will be here, and you can rewatch everything. So appreciate the patience again tonight. And Blair and I will be back next Monday to talk about Cowhand. So till then, keep throwing those sliders.
This was another production of Scrubbin' Tires Media. The Throwin' Sliders podcast is hosted by Blair Cooper and Brandon Hall. Video and audio was created by Bryce Holcomb. Please like, share, and leave a 5-star review. And as always, keep throwing those sliders.